And very good morning to everybody who joined the Cisco session about It's Connected, It's Protected. My name is Yves Mertens. I'm running the cybersecurity go-to-market for Europe, Middle East and Africa. And before going into my presentation, I just want to put some highlights about Cisco for the people who doesn't know Cisco. But we are a software and a cybersecurity company. That means from a revenue perspective that without the acquisition of Splunk, that today we're running $4 billion. And with the acquisition of Splunk, it's another $4 billion. So it means that net overall, we have $8 billion in revenue we're running in cybersecurity. And more than 75% is what I would say software and recurring revenue, so which is also quite important to understand. So we have, I would claim we have the broadest portfolio in the market. And I think our brand in cybersecurity is about what the title is saying is if it's connected, it's protected. So you will see in my presentation that I will speak a lot about the integration of security into our enterprise networking, and I think that is very key to understand that. Okay. Before going in that, and I want to take the opportunity to share that today with the audience, is that we have an what we call a readiness index, and one of the things that came out of that study, and I have 3 slides about that. Is that the complexity is rising. And if you look to the employees of your companies today, I can tell you that at least they're connecting 6 to 6 networks on a weekly basis. 80-20% of the companies says that they have environment where they have unmanaged devices, where threats and breaches are even more important to cover. And then 33% spend 20% of their time logged onto company networks from unmanaged devices, which make it even more complex. The other interesting piece is that you see that for all the different companies that the IT budget is raising, and that the budgets in cybersecurity are raising. And then interestingly enough is that 82% companies said that they feel that they are moderate, looking to the future to tackle basically cybersecurity attacks. On the right side, and that's quite important, is that you still see a lot of companies with point solutions, and I will express a little bit later about a company I visited in Switzerland, where I will tell you what happened there on the point solutions. But the most important thing on the slide that came out of the study is the 76% is that companies and also CISOs are understanding today that they cannot continue to put more boxes in their environment on cybersecurity, and they need to have a more end-to-end approach to manage that. So everything that I'm telling you is leading to increased risks, meaning that 55% of the companies where we did the interviews say that they had a cybersecurity incident in the past 12 months. Another 50% were telling that they had a financial impact. So you can see the claim, $300,000 US, which is significant. And then 73% are telling us that they expect that their business will be disrupted in the coming year or 2 years there. So I think for the people in the room, I think it's an important message to make sure that you think about the cybersecurity architecture. Good. Something that I need to. Good. One of the things that I want to highlight, which is quite important, is today if you visit customers, and I'm sure there are customers in the room here, and you will definitely feel that you have that environment. And coming back to the Swiss customer I visited 4 months ago with the board, they were reflecting to us that they had 60 different vendors into their environment. 60. Their CISO was calling out that they don't have any visibility anymore on what's happening in their environment. They were telling that automation was not working like expected. Okay, so this is a quite important call out, and I think as a customer you need to consider this and work with a vendor like Cisco that can bring that solution in a way where it's much more visible, much more simple and reliable. And for this we have announced basically what I would call an vision that we call out the security cloud, but also networking cloud. And from a visionary perspective, I can tell you that today, ideally for our customer, we want to have one subscription for the networking and for cybersecurity. And that's quite important to know, and we go into that. And like you see, to the bigger picture of it is that the network cloud is interconnected with the what we call the different data center, if it is on-premise private, or if it is in the hyperscaler with Azure, AWS or Google Cloud. And then on top of that, in the platform, you have the different services where AI, as an example, is becoming an important element. I will speak about the innovations we are doing in AI. And then the software as a service, I can see today companies where when something is happening that you need to have a billing system to put a ticket and to see what's going on. So all these elements related to our vision is basically interconnected. If you look to our go-to-market and customers, partners where we're working with were telling us that we were complex, we have made huge simplification in our go-to-market, meaning that we had around I would say 37 products, and today we have simplified to the use cases that we go to market today. And the three main use cases that we have is what we call the user protection suite, it is the cloud protection suite, and it is the breach protection suite. So you hear it, it is a suite, and so as a customer you will get more value if you buy from us to partners if you go in a suite approach than in an a la carte approach. And I really would tell you as a customer, when you speak with the Cisco AMs or you speak with the partner AMs, to make sure that you get the approach with the suites. It's a bit a Microsoft approach, where basically you get more value based on what you pay, and then over time on the life cycle of the sale, you will adopt, you will upsell, you will cross-sell depending on your needs as a customer. So that's quite important. So as an example, if you look to the user protection suite and you look what's in there, is definitely our what we call secure access or our SSE implementation. And I can tell you, and I will come back to that, our SSE implementation is very key for us because it's fully integrated into the network. Plus, the management platform is one management platform to define all components at the SSE level. And I can tell you, if I compare it with other vendors today, there are 5-7 platforms to do that. So consider Cisco in your future project that you would have. If you look to cloud protection, it's clear that everything is moving to the cloud, and it's not because you move things or workloads to the cloud that you believe that your environment will be secure. And so it's important that you have the right tools in place to capture the cloud insights there. So, and that's what we deliver with the cloud protection. And then the breach protection, Cisco has announced what we call their XDR, which is everything related to detect and response. So the people who doesn't know what XDR is the combination of NDR, the network detect and response, and XDR, which is everything related to cybersecurity. Okay, and I will come back to that one because this is a quite important element in our network security cloud vision that we put forward. And then on the base, you can see is everything about firewall protection. Okay, so nearly every use case we see with customer if it is breach protection, user protection, cloud protection, you will need to include a perimeter, which is still the firewall. So the firewall is the base. And the other important element, I will come back to that one, is everything related to the identity intelligence as well, that we have announced recently a couple of months ago, which is quite important as well. Good. Couple of milestones around 2024 of what I've not speaking about. So we delivered on XDR. I will come back on that one in a minute. We delivered on Secure Access, which is our SSE implementation. We delivered on multi-cloud defense. I can claim that today we are the only vendor in the industry that can have policing cross the hyperscalers, cross basically the workloads that you put on your hyperscalers today. And if you haven't seen a demonstration about that, make sure that you come to us and that you start to understand. I spoke about the suites. In the meantime, we acquired a couple of companies to make sure that we have a strong, I would say, implementation of our AI. So a lot of companies that you see on there, like Ort, like Splunk even, like Armor Box, are there to support the whole AI implementation that we have. We also launched our new 4200 firewall series. I can tell you this is today the box, the firewall you need to have in your environment. It's the most stable. It has all the features to bring you to the future request on where you want to further implement. And from a price performance perspective, it's the box you need to have in your infrastructure today. I will come back on the AI in a minute, because we also launched our AI assistant in the XDR environment, quite unique. And then I spoke about the identity intelligence and something that maybe, have you heard about Hypershield? People in the room here? Okay, I will shed some light about Hypershield, because this is the latest innovation from Cisco, where I think we're gonna change or revolutionize basically the data centers in the coming 2 years there, and I think that's quite important. Good, so let me do a little bit more deep dive about 3 components. So first of all, the artificial intelligence, the cross-domain native telemetry, which is crucial in everything that you bring into the XDR, and then some core security innovation like Secure Access as an example there. So if you look to our artificial intelligence today, we speak about cybersecurity, but we want to make it pervasive across our portfolio today. And let me highlight 2 examples on AI that are live today. The first is AI related to our firewall. So today we have the artificial intelligence where basically you can check, because if you have a complex environment, you will set up a lot of policies in your environment related to the firewall. I can tell you with the AI, you can check if there are not double instances in there. You can also configure the policy manager through the firewall, through the AI assistant. And if you need to do upgrades as well, you will get instructions from step number 1 until step number 5 on what you need to do to upgrade basically your firewall. The other thing that we have announced is the AI related to the assistant, okay, in XDR, which is a quite amazing, I would say, element that you have in your SOC. We know that today, if you build out a SOC as a customer, that you have a cost related to your analysts, okay? A lot is being handled by looking to logs by different people and then manual taking conclusions. So what the AI assistant is bringing you, it is basically the intelligence on everything that's happening and making sure that you get a first level, I would say, of analysis through the AI assistant before taking any conclusion. So what we have seen today is that with customers who have a SOC, that today we reduce the number of physical persons that are looking to basically the logs and basically increasing efficiencies, increasing the detection of false positives and these elements. So AI is a quite important element that we're going to continue to invest not only in cybersecurity but across our portfolio. Good. Cross-domain native telemetry. This is a very important topic today in the world of cybersecurity. Cisco has launched XDR. A lot of vendors has done that, but there are reasons why Cisco, and I want to make sure that you take them with you and that you can further analyze them. So today, the telemetry which are key in cybersecurity is email, is web, is endpoint and network. And a lot of vendors are looking to these telemetry elements in a siloed environment. We're not doing that. We have built the intelligence to correlate what's happening in the platform on everything which is email, web, endpoint, and network. And that's a very key element. If today you speak with Palo Alto as an example, they don't have the native telemetry of email. And email, I don't need to tell you, is the most important threat vector that you can have in your environment today. So make sure that when you decide on your XDR platform, that you evaluate the telemetry which is injected there. So I have other examples from other vendors where today they don't use the telemetry and the insights that we can deliver. Cisco today is seeing more emails than Microsoft, as an example. Okay, and behind the whole environment we have what we call a threat intelligence, which is called Talos. Hopefully you have heard about Talos. It's the biggest non-governmental instance on threat intelligence. Our guys, it's around 600 advisories, are looking every day around 500 billion events on a daily basis. Okay, there are not a lot of vendors that can do that today. And remember, our bread and butter is the network. And if there is one company that knows better on the traffic flows that's happening into networking, it is Cisco. Combined with the elements on email, cloud, and web, I think we can bring a huge solution for you as a customer in your environment related to the SOC. The other thing which is very important is that in our XDR, we integrating through APIs other vendors. So meaning that you will have XDR as one platform and you will be able to integrate examples like Checkpoint, Fortinet, Palo Alto, Darktrace, any kind of vendor that you can see there, we are able to integrate today. And what I see today, which is quite unique, is that in our XDR, we are delivering unique capabilities that you can find in a SIEM or that you can find in a SOAR. And we don't call it SIEM and SOAR before the acquisition of Splunk, but we have these capabilities. I had yesterday a customer who had QRadar as an example. He was shutting down QRadar after testing of our XDR because we have the same capability. So he, as a customer, he can optimize basically his cost by looking after our XDR environment there. So quite important that you get into the detail about our XDR to understand what's happening. So I cannot stop speaking about XDR without speaking about the acquisition we have done with Splunk. Okay, you have to know Splunk. We acquired Splunk for three main reasons. First of all, for what they bring in security related to the SIEM and the SOAR. Secondly, what they bring in on observability. So Thousand Eyes is our environment on observability, but with Splunk we are very complementary because we can go up to the application level to see what's really happening there, which is quite unique. And then the AI piece. So you can see that through our AI, you will see that our XDR, we will broaden it with insight from the SIEM from Splunk. We will broaden it with automation from SOAR. And then we will go to what we call the SOC of the future in relation to the integration we are doing with Splunk. And we announced at the RSA conference 2 weeks ago in the US. I was over there. This is the first integration that we have done between Cisco and Splunk ES, where basically the incidents generated by our XDR platform is injected basically in the Splunk ES, and then the investigations coming out of ES is put into our XDR platform. The XDR platform, you will see in the SOCs of our customer, they are more and more putting into a main component to simplify and to get the right outcomes related to the events there. And you will see more announcements coming, but it's quite important. I don't know if there are Splunk customers in the room here, but you will see that that environment will grow as I speak, and the integration will continue to go there. So yeah, speak to your AM, speak to you can speak to me about if you want to see what further will come. I just can tell you on Splunk, it will be on our GPL, on our price list by the end of Q1, meaning September, October. It will be on our price list, and further integration will happen there. Okay, good. Coming to a conclusion, I would say, with some core security innovations that I'll also want to make sure that you're aware of. So I spoke about XDR intensively. I will not repeat myself, but let me take a moment on Cisco Secure Access. So Cisco Secure Access is our SSE implementation. And you can ask yeah, I see SSE from Netscope, I see SSE from Fortinet, I see SSE from Palo Alto. Why Cisco? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why Cisco. The main reason why Cisco is that the clients where you work on and where you make the connectivities up to the application is one client, meaning if you want to connect directly, if you want to connect to the web applications, if you want to connect to legacy applications, we are the only vendor with one secure client that can do that without changing basically the secure client. All other vendors, they need to change on the PC of the user the stack of the client to make the connectivity depending on the application they want to connect to. The other advantage is basically that the aspect about not only the connection to the application, but also the fact that we are managing the SSE components from one management platform. If you look to Fortinet as an example, they have 5 instances to manage their SSE environment. Okay, so we have simplified a lot the environment related to our secure access. And then I think I don't need to tell you that it is integration into the network. It means it's our bread and butter, so we know what is coming there. And I think take the time to analyze what we can bring there from a secure access perspective. On the Cisco Identity Intelligence, I'm sure you have heard about our acquisition in the past about Duo. And on that side, we have continued to implement basically everything which is identity. And what we are really good in is that, as an example, if Mertens is logging into an environment in the infrastructure, it will not be one login. I will be continuously analyzed on basically the authentication. Okay, if I connect to another application, the intelligence system will try to understand if it's still Yves Mertens or not. It will even go so far that they will look if Yves Mertens is sitting in the office or if Mertens is sitting traveling in a lounge somewhere in an airport. So this is a kind of what we call a behavior identity management. And I can tell you, if compared to Palo Alto as an example, it's only one connectivity to Google, but they don't do basically their continuous authentication we are doing from a cybersecurity perspective, which is key. The last element I want to speak to you about, that I want to spend a bit of time, is what we called our Cisco Hypershield, which has been launched 5 weeks ago. First of all, why? Why Hypershield? You need to understand the business case. The business case is about basically that for critical infrastructure, we want to solve 3 major items. Number 1 is automated segmentation. So segmentation in cybersecurity is important. We will be able with Hypershield to do that autonomous, okay, into the environment. Number 2 is everything about patching. Every day customers are confronted with exploits, with vulnerabilities, and then you need to patch. And it's taking you weeks to patch. We will do it in days, okay? And then upgrading and updating. Yeah, as a customer, if you're a big customer and you want to do an update, yeah, you will plan it at New Year's time, or you want to plan that. So we will be able, with our infrastructure and our vision related to Hypershield, we will be able to do that instantly. And the reason we do that is that we have 2 data planes in our vision, and meaning 1 data plane which is the live version, and another data plane where basically we are testing the new environment. And that's quite important. So what's the technology? So we acquired Isovalent, and Isovalent, the acquisition, there is a very interesting technology in there, which is EBF. And EBF basically is the protocol that we are using to be able to go deep into the kernel of hosts, and where we can do deep dive inspection about if things are happening into the kernel. That means net, if I was speaking about a secure client which is unique, you will be able as a company to look what's happening from your secure client up to the application. And meaning if something is happening, we will visualize that, and you will be able into your XDR environment to be able to take the right actions there. And then there's one last thing I haven't mentioned about, I don't know why I haven't mentioned. So it's also a very, what I will say, distributed architecture from the client up to the data center, up to the workloads. Okay, availability, general availability will be August, first in software, and then it will move over time to hardware, where basically you can imagine that every switch will have a firewall on the port. Okay, so that's also the reason they call it Hypershield. But keep on watching us, but that's the way we're going, and that's what the companies want. Okay, and remember the 3 use cases: segmentation, patching, and basically upgrading. Good. Coming to an end. Some references I want to mention. We have more than 300,000 customers. We're looking after 2.8 million new malware every day. I spoke to you about the events, the $550 billion events a day, basically on Talos. Everything will be AI powered. I've given you 2 examples. And then, Talos as such has discovered more than 200 plus vulnerabilities on the year. And I would recommend you to read the blogs of Talos. You're gonna learn a lot about that. Okay? Good. 1 minute left. And I would say let's together rock in security. I've given you 2 QR codes which are quite important. The first one, I didn't speak about NIS2, but I can tell you with the broad portfolio we have an offering for you as a customer. And I know you bring in RFPs, so the first QR code will give you a guide about NIS2, and the second one will give you all the details about the readiness report, where I called out basically the first 3 slides of my presentation. Okay? So with this, I would like to thank you and have a great journey during the day and tomorrow.